Hello! It's been a long time. It's been about a week now. And I have a good story for you. But first, let's get to the best comment of last week's video. The best comment was Kelsey Kessler. Congratulations, you have won the best comment of last week's video! Yay! I really like this comment, not only because it was not excluding different body types from, you know, what's acceptable, but you almost sounded like you were saying every body type is amazing, and you also gave another example. But one very important thing is that you definitely gave your opinion on it, but you gave a reason why. And I think that's the most important thing. You gave a reason why, you weren't exclusive and weren't rude, I guess, but you also gave your opinion. So I really like that. So congratulations, you have won! This week's story is completely true, no exaggerations, down to the dirt of what's happened. It all starts at a cast party. Every single Saturday we would have a cast party at a restaurant, and it was always super hard to find a restaurant that would hold us because there is 50 of us. Waiters and waitresses and hostesses all wanted to go home, and they were tired, and it would always be really late. So us being rowdy theater kids, it was always difficult to find a restaurant that would hold us. So we find this restaurant, and they're really nice, and I mean, we're nice people, we're nice kids, but I guess we're kind of rowdy because theater kids they do things that normal people wouldn't do, if that makes any sense, such as canoodling, where you kiss with noodles. But that's besides the point. So anyway, we go to this restaurant. It was my first semester of senior year. I was backing out of my parking spot, and what I did the year before was I went toward a group of my friends because they all crowd around in the parking lot and talk to each other. So I'm backing in my parking spot, and I go toward them, I brake, and I honk my horn. I'm like, "Move, guys, move!" And they're like, "Oh, Brooke." And I'm like, "Oh, guys, bye!" And one of my best friends, Giovanni, he gets really excited, and I know what he's gonna do because we're really good friends. So I know his mindset. He opens my car door, and we're laughing, and he's like, "Roar!" because he's really buff. He's really buff. And he opens my car door, unbuckles my seatbelt, and wrestles me out of the car like this. We're laughing and giggling. But what we didn't know was that the car wasn't in the parking lot, which is pretty important in a parking lot when no one's in the car. And it starts rolling toward the group of my friends, and all the laughter stops. My theater friends are in between my car and another car going straight toward each other. Luckily, all of them gather out of the way, and they go over to the sides. But that car is still in the way of my car, rolling toward it. So I obviously start running toward my car. Another friend of mine named Lance, his car was right in front of mine. So he tries to dive into my car, but I hold him back because I want to get into my car. I don't want him to get into my car first because it's my car. This is all split seconds. So for a few seconds, I'm holding him back from diving into my car because I'm trying to get into my car. But then I'm like, wait, maybe he can do it. So I let him go. But too late, because as soon as he dives into my car and pushes the brake with his hand, the cars impact each other, sending his face into the dash. And at this point, I didn't know that happened. I just saw that the two cars hit each other, and I need to back up this car. That's all I know. I need to back up this car, and I need to make sure the cars are okay, because that's the only thing I know that happened. That's the only bad thing I know that happened, is the cars hit each other. So I back up the car, and everyone's crowding and freaking out. And I'm like, maybe it's just the cars. But I look at Lance, and his face is dripping with blood. And my lifeguard training starts to kick in. And I'm like, I need to be the calm one. I need to figure out what to do. I need to know what to do. So I look at him and I'm like, everybody calm down. I'm going to fix this. Everybody calm down. I'm going to get Lance some help. So, of course that doesn't work. And people start rushing into the restaurant and telling my theater teacher, who's really caring about us, that Lance has gotten pinned in between the two cars. And of course management of the restaurant hears this, and they come rushing out with paper towels that are more like cloth towels because there's so much, because they think it's a fatal injury, and it's not. It's not a fatal injury. He just has a deep gash, and I bring him into my car because everyone's flipping out and it's annoying me so much because they're just not being calm at all and they're exaggerating everything. So I take him into my car and I look at his gash, and I put antiseptic on it, antibacterial stuff on it. I clean it up as best I can, and you know, make sure the blood's not stopping. And he obviously needed stitches, so we call his parents first and foremost, and his parents get there and they're okay. And he's just really, he's really positive. He's like, oh, that's a nifty scratch. I'm like, oh, he's just a really funny guy. He's so funny, nifty. And Giovanni feels really guilty, and luckily Lance's parents didn't press charges. My parents didn't just press charges against Giovanni, and so it ended up being okay, and it really brought us together. And the police came, and the police were okay. No fines because we're all at a good age, I guess. I don't remember why there were no fines, but that's not my question today. Obviously, the restaurant never let us back, and we didn't even bother trying because obviously they hate us now. So my question today is, at what point do restaurants kick you out? Because I heard a story on the news the other week where a family got kicked out because their kids were too riled up. But if two cars hitting each other and someone's eye almost coming out isn't enough to get you kicked out of a restaurant, what the heck is? Because I have no idea. I've always wondered, what is the line you would have to cross to get kicked out of a restaurant? Because canoodling sure doesn't do it. Let me know what you think. Put the comment below on YouTube. It has to be on YouTube. I'm sorry I didn't clarify that last week. The best comment will win a shout out in next week's video, and I look forward to reading your comments. And I'll be putting up another video next week. May the best comment win. Goodbye. This party, and no, stop, shh, be quiet. And I start, shh, and I start, stop. What is she doing? Stop.